Now, Your Excellency, I wanted you to listen to all of the producers here and hear, what they're doing and some of the challenges that they're facing. And now, if I may, from you, that government point of view, and particularly here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, how do you balance, I suppose, economic development with the environmental, with the social, all of these considerations to, actually make sure that you're developing a very successful and sustainable mineral sector?
Thank you. Although the question is extremely complex, by the way, to answer.
Sorry about that.
But we,
I put it all together for you.
it's very important, by the way, but to answer it in a proper way, even for us in Saudi Arabia when we embarked in the sector, it hasn't been, I would say, one of the main focus sectors in Saudi Arabia that had its own positives and negatives, by the way. But when we looked at it, I think we heard it from my colleagues here and during the last few days. We have to approach it in an Earth Inc. Approach. So in a global sense, we always heard also a very important element, which is the human part. So people are scattered around the world in the Earth Inc. approach, and some are residing on minerals that is rich with all the metals and minerals that everybody needs around the world. People or companies are also very good in extraction and refinery and utilization, industrialization. The important, I think the previous session he mentioned it in his closing remark, that we always have to go to the people, make sure that they are stable. This is an important foundation if we want to really go and build a sustainable global supply chain. Now we come and define where we want to play as Saudi Arabia. And I think to summarize what has been discussed over the last day and also this morning, it is in a simple way, mining now is taken off as one of the important, I think the third pillar in our industry diversification. So this is already determined. And once we set our goals, we just go and march in. Very carefully also, we have to understand. This is why I said the Earth Inc., we had to see and comprehend this whole global value chain from all aspects. From the extraction, from the minerals, and most importantly, how to create a stable value chain supply. Saudi Arabia, if you look at it, situated within, I think, 7 hours, we cover most of the economy of the world, from the mines all the way to the users. Luckily, we have the 2 ports that is in the east and the west that is well connected. It creates a resilience to unexpected interruptions. This is another one. The important also part, what His Royal Highness mentioned yesterday very clearly, that mineral extraction purification is always an energy-driven process.
Yes, yes.
So to make that energy available in all forms, that be green, that would be clean. There are different names, but now I think the plans has been set. We will make it available according to where the demand will be. That will be in the east or the west or the south of Saudi Arabia. All of this is good, but what is really important is that when we hear about supply chain, a connection between the miners and the user, and also there are the middle companies who bridge both. Important is to see the human part. This is what will create a really sustainable and resilient supply chain. So if we are one company around the earth, you cannot ignore one small department that they will do the mining or the exploration. You have to take care of them. They have to see part of the value that goes to them. They have to be stable. And it is not only by words, but also by good actions. And there are so many organizations around the world. Just now, with the creation of this mining council, the really excellent thing we have seen is that everyone speaks his mind. The frustration without a legacy of, I have to worry about my operation in such mine or company or others. they try to fix it from the human part, even if it affects them a little bit, that within their company they are not, open to talk about certain small issues here and there. So I've heard it. We've heard it now. We are addressing it. Hopefully, the decisions not only to implement the best practices, but make sure that they are implemented equitably.
Your Excellency, talk to me about what the Kingdom is doing differently. I mean, we look here, and yesterday we heard, less than 30%, about 30% has been exploited. The value of minerals here from 1.3 trillion now to 2.5. We look ahead to this. But what's so different, about what's happening here? You don't have that long legacy, of a mining sector. And anything specific you are doing to make sure that collaboration with stakeholders is top of mind?
Yes, definitely. There are many of them. I will start maybe from the beginning, from an operational side. You've heard His Excellency, the Minister, announced yesterday the $182 million incentive to maybe get even onboarding the junior miners program. So you try to maybe even improve the image of mining to the junior people, get them back to school to geology. So one of the universities, I think, was announced by His Excellency the Ramayan. KFUPM is starting a program also how to do the mining. So we're trying to even focus the whole social system, especially the youngers, to go into the field with a more, I would say, with the less legacy of how it was done before. Now things are done in a much better way.
And it's more high-tech, it's a more attractive
More
industry.
high-tech, it's more, exactly, it's like an exploration. You have to find the treasure. There are so many tools to help you. It is not hardship, it is more intellectual approach than before. This helped a lot, and we have seen an amazing result so far. The other one is the mining, I would say, licensing law. So we try now, as you said, we are starting with no legacy. That gives us a really good starting point. We apply and be very, I would say, comfortable with the practices applied now, and then not stand there or stop there. I think even the council, they discussed how we take it even a step further. Every time we take care of the human, the social part, the environmental part, and as my colleagues also mentioned, is we all agree on the what. It's just the how to ensure that all the companies are adhering. Are there the proper governance? If they don't do what needs to be done, the tools has to be there. So coming back to Saudi Arabia, what we do it differently, the creation of a center of excellence. This propagation of new ways, the technology has to be spread as fast as possible. Really creating the industry, or we will make the platform here. So people talk about legacy of challenges that created by legacy of operations. Improving the image of the industry. Making the energy available, as also was said yesterday, even exporting it where the treatment at the mine should be done. So at least we have a stable supply, also a stable ecosystem and social system. Was mentioned also very clearly several times, minimize the tailing at the mines. And I think in the system we've created also, we made sure during not only exploration, but also the mining until the closure of the mine. Everything has to be clearly stipulated.
Yes.
Until the mine is closed very safely with the minimum effect on people or environment. All of these things are a good practice. We have only to make it happen now with our partners and colleagues. I think this is now a matter of a few months or a few years to put them on the ground. And maybe one last remark, just citing very few examples in Wa'ad al-Shamal. And I said the good practices. They created a school for the boys. I know the northern part of Saudi Arabia wasn't, I would say, the most flourishing part. And But these programs, it changed the region to a
Wow.
much better place.
Yes.
And the economy flourished.
A lot of focus, strong focus, commitment, as we look ahead, ambition for Saudi Arabia. How do you make sure that you become that global player that you're well on your way to do?
Thank you. I think just a summary of all what has been said. I mean, in Saudi Arabia, if we look at it, what we are offering now. One is that the energy required to do the process of mining and making sure the utilization are good. The minerals and rare earth metals that is available in Saudi Arabia has been discovered and more will be on the way. This is second. A logistical hub that is clearly and evidently, I think, seen by the world, how it can be well utilized and more investment are there. This is another pillar. More important than all of that is that it will be the ground where our starting point will be the best practices and pushing better from there. The council, in our belief, will be the right platform. Everyone will set the right standards and making sure the what is also coupled with the right how of how to do. And I think this is in summary. And maybe last point, which is very important, is the capital market attraction. Now it has been there, and we are seeing a huge growth. And I think this will be also a major enabler to make sure all of our plans are met and exceeded.